All right. Okay. Today we are back with another BTS reaction video, and Face has just dropped.
Jimin's new album, Face, has indeed dropped.
Yeah. And I haven't really been looking too much at the reaction from people, Jordan.
Yeah.
But what's the word on the street?
Hey, I'm right there with you. I haven't heard too much, but from the people who have written to us, they say that they are still trying to process. Oh boy, what just happened, Jordan?
Oh boy.
The only song that we have listened to so far, is Set Me Free Part 2.
Yes.
And we know what that did to us. If you'd like to see what that did to us, click here.
Damn near set us free.
Yeah. So we have Like Crazy, which is the main track from the album.
Yes. Let's go, Jordan. I mean, we heard the teaser to this song.
Yeah.
And I forced you to play it 5 times for me.
You did.
And I was pleasantly surprised at what I was hearing. So I am extremely excited for this.
I know you are. You are a vocal line fanatic.
Yes.
Jared, let's hit play on Jimin, Like Crazy, the official music video. Let's go. Here we go.
I think we could last forever. I'm afraid that everything will disappear.
I love the color.
Yeah.
She's saying, baby, 생각하지 마. There's not a bad thing here tonight. Baby, 떠나도 좋아. 있어 오늘까지만. Watch me go. 날 즉시 밤새도록. Away. 아침도 취했어 오지 않게. Drama got the bonus story 익숙해져가 내가 알던 나를 찾기 멀리 온 것 같기 I know, you know, I know I'd rather be lost in the lights Lost in the lights I'm out of my mind 이 밤이 끝을 잡아줘 매일 밤 You spin me up high 너를 보면 다 Let me have a taste
the point.
Ooh.
Wow. Wowzers. That was
One word to
crazy.
describe it, Jordan, what would you say? If you had one word to describe what you just watched and listened to.
inebriated.
Ooh.
Yeah, I felt like I was inebriated watching it. There's like blurry visuals.
Yeah.
Nightlife. It's going to be a good night.
Ooh.
What's your word?
I have two words, but the first word is experimental, right? And this gave me vibes somewhat of RM's Indigo.
Really?
No, just thinking about the experimental nature of RM's project.
Gotcha.
Indigo.
Okay.
This was so different than Set Me Free Part 2.
Completely different. Two polar opposites.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Like that shows you the extreme diversity of Jimin.
Jared, extreme isn't even the right word.
Yeah.
This man can do it all.
Jordan, this
He can
was
do it all.
This was retro 80s
Yep.
vibes.
It gave me Weekend vibes.
Ah.
The Weekend.
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
Yeah. And then the visuals were just beyond anything I've seen as of late
Yeah.
in a music video. There was no choreography, right?
Unless you want to count the choreography of everybody jumping up and down in the club, which had,
Yeah.
I assume, had to be choreographed.
Yeah. But I mean like dancing, like in Set Me Free, Jared.
Just polar opposites, yet we know they're likely connected, Jordan.
Right.
Right? They're on the same album. This was definitely, I can understand now, a pop synth
Yeah.
song.
It sort of tricks you in the beginning. You
Yeah.
think you might be getting a slower R&B song.
Yes.
And then the beat hits and you're like, oh, we're in the club right now.
Yeah.
What's the other word? Did you say your other word?
Oh, retro.
Oh, retro.
What's the
Okay.
other word? Yeah, retro.
All right.
Yeah, I wanted to just like pop on some roller skates, right? And just teleport back to the 70s or 80s and put this track on, Jordan.
I have a feeling that this song would sound a whole lot different if we were Jimin in the middle of that club.
Ooh.
Like everything went blurry and he's just
Yeah.
looking up. Like this is a song that might be better suited in that environment.
Ah, okay.
It might hit differently. You might hear it a little differently.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a hit. This is a pop hit.
Yes.
Not just a K-pop hit, Jared.
Yes.
It's a pop hit.
Oh, yeah.
This is Jimin jumping into the mainstream, it feels like.
100%. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate with the sound and sentiment of this song. Now, the song itself is titled Like Crazy.
Like crazy.
We can dig into that a little more.
Yeah.
But just from what we watched, there was a lot going on. There were many different scenes. At one point, as you said, it got blurry. That was an interesting experience. We saw some sort of liquid coming out of the walls or the lockers.
And it sort of,
Yeah.
the hallway sort of twisted, right?
Yeah.
You had to go like this.
So I wonder how deep this song goes.
Well, Jared, you don't have to wonder for much longer, brother.
What's that?
We have a Bookish Theories
Ooh.
explanation video already.
Well, that was quick.
It was very quick. So let's check this out and soak up as much information as we can because we know how in-depth Bookish Theories goes with their explanation videos.
Let's go.
Here we go.
Hello and welcome back to Bookish Theories. In today's video, we'd like to talk about Jimin's Like Crazy, focusing on a little breakdown and analysis of the lyrics in a music video to see what they can tell us about the concept and story of this solo debut. Like Crazy is a song that, among others, was also co-written by both Jimin and RM. According to the press release, the track describes the feelings of turning a blind eye to reality and running away from it in order to forget the pain. In this cinematic debut, Jimin traps himself in a dream of love he doesn't want to be saved from. As he confirmed confirmed in his letter to ARMY, both the title and the concept of the song were actually inspired by one of his favorite movies.
Okay, so I just want to pause real quick, Jordan.
Okay.
We haven't read this letter yet, but this was a letter that Jimin presented to ARMY.
Before he dropped his album?
Ooh, I'm not sure before, at the same time, or after, but this letter coincides with the album.
Wow.
So you want to read it quick?
Yeah.
Okay, so Jimin says, "Hi ARMY, this is Jimin. I am back with my very first solo album, Face. I wanted to convey my honest feelings that I experienced during the pandemic through this album, so hope you all enjoy listening. The main track, Like Crazy, is inspired by one of my favorite films. Guess what that would be?"
Like Crazy, the movie. It says in the subtitles down here. As it turns out, the track owes its title to Like Crazy, which is a movie from 2011.
Is that his favorite film?
One of, he says.
Okay. Meanwhile, I'm going to answer some of the questions you asked. Thank you, ARMY.
Interesting.
And then what's it say at the bottom there? Without the subtitles?
Oh.
I think it's blocking.
Always love.
Jimin.
Okay. And he hand wrote this. Is that his
Yeah.
handwriting?
Well, looks like it.
All right.
In English.
In English, yeah.
As it turns out, the track owes its title to Like Crazy, which is a movie from 2011 starring Anton Yelchin and Felicity Jones. This is the story of two people facing the struggles of a long-distance relationship that causes them a lot of pain despite the love they share. And the movie was so impactful in Jimin's creative process that he decided to sample the dialogue and use it in the song. Like Crazy begins and ends with some key moments of the lovers' dialogue, and Jimin chose those sections because they expressed exactly what he wanted to say. Following this direction, the seductive song that Like Crazy seems to be on a first listen actually becomes the sad story of a person trying to cope with the loneliness
Oh
of
my
a love
gosh.
gone wrong. The protagonist of our story
And the
is so
visuals go
scared to
along
be
with
left alone that he's ready to be seduced by the illusion of a perfect love that will only cause him more pain on the long run. Falling into the temptation of his loved one, Jimin loses himself in a dream that makes him fade away. The thing is that he chooses to lose himself in this dream because he refuses to face the reality that this love only brings him misery. He doesn't want to be saved. He'd rather get lost in the lights and lose his mind rather than confront the truth and be alone. So he embraces the madness because this very madness is the only thing that makes him feel alive. Even if this illusion is making him fall, Jimin doesn't want to wake up because if he does, reality will break him. In the song, his only wish is to find a way to dream on, but by the end he's alone once again, forced to face the fact that that dream only made it worse. Now in the video, this concept is expressed with a dreamlike experience that perfectly conveys the state of mind of our protagonist. At the beginning, for instance, the video opens with Jimin in a nightclub. As the camera zooms into his eye, however, the video reveals that this is a dream he's having while he's home alone. Right off the bat, this is a very great opening because Jimin's two worlds are introduced in a matter of seconds. You have the person in reality, lost in an illusion that helps him cope with the loneliness, and then you have the man in the dream, willingly losing himself in a fantasy full of passion and emotion. In the video, these two worlds are initially easy to tell apart, but the moment Jimin imagines to be taken away by his loved one, the dream takes over reality to the point that the two almost overlap. He is willingly seduced by the fantasy of his lover. He wants that to be real, so he runs into a dreamy scenario where he's constantly looking for that person. Now, the club is actually a very interesting choice here because in a way the setting embodies all the feelings and fantasies the song is all about. Since it's a dream, the entire club is a representation of his state of mind. Sure, we see Jimin having fun in it. He's drinking, partying, but we also see the place heating up, the people around him kissing each other, and this all represents him because everything is happening inside of his head. This is why in the video everything is out of focus except for him. What we're seeing here is Jimin's dream, and he is in a daze because he wants to be. He wants to fade away because that is the only way to reconnect with the person that he loves. Even if he wants to stay in the dream, however, his own mind seems to pose some resistance to this idea, as he tells us that he'd rather be lost in the lights. For instance, we see that Jimin is going against the tide of people heading in the opposite direction. It's almost like he's forcing himself to go the wrong way in order to stay in the dream, and this only leads him to lose his mind in the process. The most obvious sign that this fantasy is not as good as it seems, however, is definitely the mud, which is a recurring symbol throughout the video as a whole. When Jimin first enters the dream, we see the house suddenly getting covered in mud.
Oh boy.
When he says he doesn't want to be saved, mud starts leaking down the walls. When he's about to leave the club, he leaves muddy footprints. By the end, Jimin comes back to reality with a muddy hand, and with this same hand, he eventually smudges the camera, metaphorically covering his whole image with mud. Now, this is a very significant imagery here, because in dream symbolism, mud can actually represent stagnation. It can symbolize the feeling of being trapped in a situation, or even imply that the dreamer is unsure of what direction to take in life. If we apply this symbolism to the story Jimin is telling us, its meaning becomes very evident. If on one hand the club represents his fantasy of love, on the other the mud represents his inability to move on from it. As the dialogue from Like Crazy suggests, by the end Jimin is alone again, and hopeless to say the least. Even if he was able to come back to reality, the mud on his hand very much implies that he's still stuck, he's still stagnant, and therefore unable to set himself free. If we follow the order of the album, then will only happen at the end with Semi-Free Part 2, so to better understand the meaning behind that song, you can check out that video as well. In the meantime, however, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please think about liking and subscribing. As always, thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.
How?
How?
Please give me a minute, please, Jared. I don't know what's going on.
Every minor curiosity or question that we had was answered just now.
In 5 minutes and 43 seconds.
I mean, the mud, Jordan. Who knew the mud could represent so much? Mud symbolizes stagnation? Oh. I don't even know what to say. Every time we watch a Bookish Theories video, Jordan, it leaves us in a state of paralysis.
Right.
Right. And my paralysis feels like an inadequacy. You know, like I just simply cannot analyze things like this.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Jared, I think we are still new to BTS.
Yeah.
I think it takes a while to understand that a song is not just a song, right? A music video is not just a music video.
No.
Lyrics are not just lyrics.
No.
Almost everything can be connected to something in the past that was released or something that happened in the past, Jared. Paralysis is the word. I mean, this is just too much information all at once.
Did you know that Jimin was dreaming? That
I didn't know anything.
No.
I didn't.
Like they zoom in on his eye.
Right.
Right. Okay. You're telling me Jimin is sitting there dreaming?
Yeah. I mean, it's endless, Jared. The club is a representation of his state of mind, right?
Yeah.
So he's feeling stuck. Like he can't move on from the relationship, they said, right?
Yeah.
By the end, we see that, and he's sitting there, and he smudges the mud on the camera, blocking his own image.
Yeah.
And they brought up the track list here, Jared. This song's in the middle. We already heard Set Me Free.
Yeah.
Jimin had to go through some shit.
Oh.
And his own letter let us know that maybe this happened during the pandemic.
During the pandemic.
Maybe he was feeling this way during the pandemic. But this is such a common feeling that many people, including ourselves,
Yeah.
can relate with, Jared. The feeling of not being able to move on
The feeling of being stuck in the mud.
and going against the grain. You're going back into the club when people are leaving.
You're getting muddier.
Army, what in the world do you think about the meaning behind this song? Because our brains are completely blown. This is too much.
Jordan, I think the only way to heal our brains is to watch a live performance of this song. And not just any live performance, Jordan. Jimin went on Jimmy Fallon
Yeah.
for the first time ever as a solo artist.
Ah, right. So the only other times he was on Jimmy Fallon was with the other members.
And with the other members. So right now, we are going to watch Jimin's live performance of Like Crazy on the Jimmy Fallon Tonight Show.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
What do you got?
Name another artist who goes on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon
Yeah.
and transforms the entire set into a dance studio that resembles a club,
Mm-hmm.
brings backup dancers onto the stage and performs an entirely new dance choreography based on this song.
Yeah.
I'll wait.
You said name another artist?
Name one.
Baby Mochi.
Who else?
The
Jordan?
the king of K-pop.
Hey, look.
I'm
look.
naming artists.
The only artist and group of artists that I've ever seen do this on the Jimmy Fallon show is BTS. I may be wrong. I may not watch enough Jimmy Fallon, but I have never seen
Yeah.
another artist do this. Usually they just sing, right, on a stationary mic.
He turned it into a nightclub, all right.
Wow.
And every detail was on point. When he said, I want to get lost in the light,
Yeah.
we'd get that aerial view. And it sort of, the camera would pan through the light at times, Jared. And we'd see all the lights. Smooth is not the word for this man. He's talented beyond belief.
Yeah.
Was this the English version that we haven't heard yet?
It may have been.
I think that might be why it sounded a bit different from what we just heard.
Okay.
But we will be hearing that shortly, soon. I just have one more point. So you know how we learned that Jimin was inspired to write this song from a movie, right?
Yes.
He was inspired by a movie. This song sounds like a soundtrack to a movie.
Ooh.
It sounds like a soundtrack to a movie, Jordan.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what I felt here just watching this. It's like it does have that nightclub feel, that dreamy, just you're just lost.
Yeah. I mean, just looking at the man, Jordan, again, we say this a lot, but he looks like the reincarnation of Michael Jackson.
Yeah, and especially when he did the little.
I mean, look at his apparel, his white shirt, his smooth dance moves.
Yeah.
Everything totally in sync.
Yeah. You know, all the backup dancers.
Wow.
There may not have looked like there was much choreography in the music video.
Yeah. Exactly.
Over here,
right?
there's a
You
whole
go
bunch.
from creating a music video with very little organized dance choreography.
Right.
And then Jimin saves the ultimate dance choreography for the Tonight Show with
Yeah.
Jimmy Fallon.
Jerry, you know what I want from from some of our dancers out there, from some of our choreographers.
Huh.
Now, Bookish Theories broke down the music video for us.
Ah.
We need just a short little breakdown of this live performance.
Yes.
Because we know
Yes.
that even live performances hold a lot of meaning in there. I saw he was being grabbed at times.
Oh, this was a storyline.
Right.
Yeah. And there better be a dance practice associated with this right here, Jordan. I know there is.
I hope so.
There has to be.
I hope so. Yeah, because I mean, you could tell he practiced
Yeah.
his ass off for this.
Yeah.
So let us know, Army, if you're a choreographer or dancer out there, what did you think of this performance? What were some of the things that newbies to the dance world or the choreography world like us may have missed?
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments down below, everybody. Jared, are you ready to listen to the full album now?
Jordan, I told you this before, but for this album, I know we've already listened to 2 of the tracks.
Yep.
We've listened to Set Me Free Part 2, and we've now listened to Like Crazy. Right now, we are going to listen to the entire album from track 1 to track 6.
Yeah.
Plus the bonus or hidden track. And I know for myself, I'm going to sit here and soak in every sound. Jordan, this is going to be a sonic saturation.
A sonic saturation.
I'm not paying attention to anything else but the sound.
Okay. Just soak in the sound, brother.
Let's go.
Let's go. Army, we hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure you leave a like. Let us know what you thought in the comments down below, and subscribe if you haven't already.
And don't forget to turn on those notifications. But most importantly, be kind.
And keep an open mind, everybody.
Peace.